Welcome back to Peer-Guided DBT Lessons, provided by DBT Skills application, Peers Helping Peers. This week's lesson, marked 4-1 in our Interpersonal Effectiveness module, is an introduction to interpersonal effectiveness. Please keep in mind that we're simply peers helping peers, working together to bring about more peaceful, constructive, and ultimately happier lives. In other words, a life worth living. The first question that needs to be asked is, what is interpersonal effectiveness? The simple definition is, it is using interpersonal skills effectively. Interpersonal skills refers to the ability of a person to communicate effectively with another person. It is an essential life skill. Interpersonal skills include not only how we communicate with others, but also our confidence and our ability to listen and understand. Problem solving, decision making, and personal stress management are also considered interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are effective communication, but they are also interest. Feeling and understanding what the people we're interacting with are feeling. Healthy interpersonal skills reduce stress, resolve conflict, improve communication, enhance intimacy, increase understanding, and promote joy. So what is the goal of the Interpersonal Effectiveness module? Number 1, learn the specific interpersonal skills that can help you obtain successful communication with all interpersonal encounters. And number 2, learn how to apply interpersonal problem solving, assertiveness, and social skills that can help you obtain your interpersonal goals. Interpersonal effectiveness skills enable you to ask for what you want or need, with greater success in getting what you ask for. Say no, and stick to it. Effectively resolve conflict. Have confidence in your skillfulness, no matter what the final outcome is. Interpersonal effectiveness skills build mastery and increase self-respect. Effective interpersonal interactions increase feelings of competency and decrease feelings of helplessness and dependency. Standing up for yourself, your beliefs, and your opinions builds mastery and self-respect. Following wise mind to do what you believe is right and moral builds mastery and self-respect. Types of self-respect building interpersonal skills taught in this module. Requesting what you want or need. Initiating discussions. Maintaining your position or point of view. Saying no. And resisting pressure. We'll be looking at applications to maintain and restore balance in interpersonal relationships by number 1, balance your priorities and others' demands. Number 2, balance wants and shoulds. And number 3, attentiveness to existing relationships. Let's take a look at the balance scale, your priorities and others' demands. On the one side, we have your priorities. What is important to you for you to do? For example, when needed, do you ask for help? Do you prioritize priorities? And then the other side has others' demands. What is important to others for you to do? For example, when able, do you offer to help? Do you delay low priority demands? Do you say no when necessary? Next, let's take a look at the balance scale of wants and shoulds. On the one side, you have your wants. Do you do most things because you want to? Now, problems this can lead to are, for example, you don't keep commitments. You don't meet responsibilities. There's a risk of dysfunctional or impulsive behavior. And then on the other side of the scale, you have, do you do most things because you should? And problems this can lead to are frustration, depression, and anger. Effective use of interpersonal skills can help restore this balance by getting your opinions heard, getting others to do the things you want, and being able to say no to unwanted requests. Next, we have attentiveness to existing relationships. Use interpersonal skills as a defense against problems escalating. For example, resolve conflicts as they arise before they become overwhelming. Don't let problems, hurts, anger, etc. build up. Unresolved interpersonal conflicts can cause all involved enormous stress. Then end hopeless relationships. Some relationships are impossible to maintain in a healthy way. For example, the other person does not want a relationship, or having a relationship can only be possible at a cost to your health, whether mental or physical. Unattended relationships can create emotional vulnerability. Here we have 3 effectiveness goals or priorities of interpersonal effectiveness. What is your goal or priority for the specific interaction you are seeking effectiveness skills for? Number 1, objectives effectiveness, getting what you want. Number 2, relationship effectiveness, getting and or keeping an enriching relationship. And number 3, self-respect effectiveness, increasing self-approval and self-appreciation. Let's take a look at objectives effectiveness, getting what you want. Getting someone to do something you want, refusing an unreasonable or unwanted request, convincing someone to take your opinion or point of view seriously, resolving an interpersonal conflict. Some questions you might ask yourself. Is what I want within my legitimate right? What exactly do I want from this interaction? What do I have to do to get the results I want? Am I willing to make a sacrifice that might be required in negotiations? Next, let's look at the points in relationship effectiveness, getting and or keeping an enriching relationship. First, behaving in a way that earns the respect of the other person. Acting in a way that causes the other person to like you and desire a relationship with you. Balancing the goals for the long-term relationship with the immediate interpersonal goals. Reminding yourself of why this relationship is important to you, both now and in the future. Some questions here to ask yourself. What do I need to do to get or keep this relationship? How do I want the other person to feel about me? How will the current interaction affect that feeling? Next, we have self-respect effectiveness, increasing self-approval and self-appreciation. The points here are respecting your own beliefs, sticking to your own values, behaving in keeping with your moral standards, act in a way that increases your feeling of effectiveness and capability. And your questions to ask here are, how do I want to feel about myself? How will the current interaction affect that feeling? What do I have to do to feel that way about myself? Effective interpersonal skills are invaluable. They give individuals the ability to 1. Build rapport and trust. 2. Influence decision making. 3. Present points of views, opinions, and ideas with clarity. 4. Handle challenging encounters. And 5. Set healthy boundaries. The value of continuing to increase and enhance these skills cannot be overestimated. These are more than people skills. These are life skills. Be sure to check out the video description in the comments below. You'll find a link to the website lesson that accompanies this video. You will also find links to the handouts and worksheets created to complement this video. And while you're there, if you found this video helpful, be sure to like it. On behalf of Tasha and myself, I'm Dan, and the rest of our peer-guided DBT lesson staff, we want to thank you for being a part of our video series. Next week, in our Interpersonal Effectiveness module, we'll be examining factors that reduce interpersonal effectiveness. Please join us then. You don't want to miss it.